Hello friend, in the last lecture we learned the very fundamentals of demographic transition, its history and trends. In this lecture we will learn how demographic transition influences economic growth. We will discuss it with reference to India. Friend, this question was asked in the RBI Grade B Phase 2 exam 2021. Hence, it becomes a very important lecture to listen to attentively for other regulatory body exams as well, such as NABARD, SEBI, etc. Friend, as we have learned that demographic transition is a transition or change in the statistics of human population, and it is determined by the birth rate and the death rate. With reference to India, we have learned that the period from 1901 to 1951 witnessed a moderate population. The birth rate and the death rate were high for lack of medical facilities, low literacy rate, high fertility, famines, epidemics, poor food distribution system, etc. The period from 1951 to 1961 witnessed a steady growth in the population. The period from 1961 to 1981 witnessed a whopping increase in the population called population explosion. But friends, since 1991, the population has had a steady declination. Before 1990, the fertility rate was 3.8, but since then, this rate has declined to 2.7. Now, India's population is projected to be an estimated 1.6 billion by 2050, which would be much higher than even China's, the population of which is projected to be an estimated 1.54 billion by the same year 2050. So friend, this is all about the data of India's population, which would help you frame an effective answer. Please note all these. Now friend, let's discuss how the human population directly influences the economy of a country. Friend, the more population is there, the more consumption of a country's resources will take place and thus retards the economic growth. This is the funda. On the contrary, the less population is there, the happier a country is. The country leads a standard life with proper health care, education, science and technology and the others. Now friend, let's prepare the answer in a very comprehensive way with reference to various facts and data by dividing the censuses and economic growth in India into two periods, the first period being before independence and the second being after independence. Let's discuss the economic growth of India before independence. Okay. Friend, it is to be noted that in India, the first synchronous census report was released by the British government on 17th February 1881. And since then, censuses have been undertaken uninterruptedly once every 10 years. Friend, it is necessary to know of some highly important statistics of the first census conducted in India. Have a look at the report. The report shows the percentage distribution of the working force by broad economic sectors between 1881 and 1951. 62% of the Indian population was directly engaged in agriculture in 1881 and this data kept growing to 72% till 1951. It reveals that agriculture was the main occupation of the people here. Agriculture and allied activities contributed nearly 50% to India's national income. These confirm that the Indian economy was a backward and agriculture-based economy till the 6th census in 1951. Now friend, let's discuss the industrial growth during the period. Friend, the first cotton mill in Bombay came up in 1854 and by 262, 4 mills were at work with 94,000 spindles and 2,150 looms. Around the same time, jute mills came up in Bengal, the first being set up in 1855 and later in 1862, 1874 and thus it went on generating a lot of formal and informal employment in the country. The data on the screen shows that the working force in manufacturing, mining and construction, trade and transport services engaged 26% of the population. Friend, you must know of some entrepreneurs such as Dwarkanath Tagore, Seth Hukumchand, G.D. Birla, etc., who laid a foundation of industrial India and thereby created a lot of jobs for poverty-stricken India. Handloom cloth production expanded steadily between 1900 and 1940. The Swadeshi movement fanned the desire to use domestically produced goods. The two world wars fostered industrial growth. Till the sixth census after independence, still hand technology and small scale production remained an important part of the industrial landscape. Swadeshi movement promoted all these. Friend, please keep noting all these things which show how the economy of the country evolved. Now friend, let's discuss the economic growth of India with the first post-independent India census in 1951. This census held a lot of importance as the Indian Constitution came into being. This census, the 1951 census count yielded more than 35 crore. During the first 5-year planning phase from 1951 to 1956, the economy of India marked a historic progress. Agriculture was still the backbone of the Indian economy. The concept of 5-year plan was introduced for a steady growth in the economy. In the gap of 10 years' time, the two 5-year plans were framed. Friend, India had a very large population of more than 35 crore as per the 1951 census, and this population was to be provided for. So, agriculture was to be made strong enough to fill the empty stomach of the poor of the population. With this objective, the first two 5-year plans were framed and the country succeeded in it to a great extent. Agriculture rose by about 17% in the first 5-year plan. Despite favorable conditions during the second 5-year plan, the agriculture production amounted to about 16%. The industrial sector too progressed at the rate of 6.68% per annum, which was remarkable. By the end of the second 5-year plan, the national income rose by 25%, per capita income grew by 8%. Now friend, this is all about the economic growth between the 1951 and 1961 censuses. Now let's analyze the economic growth that was recorded till the year 1971 when the 9th census took place. Friend, the census reported 54 crore, which was almost 1.5 times more. Have a look at the table on the screen. The following are the annual GDP and per capita income of India between the years 1961 and 1971. Friend, as you notice, in 1961 the GDP was 39,232 million US dollars and the percentage GDP growth was 3.7%. The per capita income was $85 only, but in 1971 the GDP rose to more than 67,000 million US dollar with the GDP growth of 1.6%. The per capita income was 119 US dollars, which was an increase by 1.7%. Friend, India could achieve a steady growth amid frequent famines and the wars between China and Pakistan. Friend, if we talk about the 1991 census, the population had increased 83 crores. The GDP stood at 266 billion US dollar. The per capita income was 1,173 US dollar. Despite economic setback that overtook India till 1990, the country achieved only 1.1% GDP growth, which was even less than Pakistan's, which was 5.1%. The economy was just sinking very fast. The BOP crisis, that's to say balance of payment crisis, had overtaken the country and it had no other way than to take a loan from the IMF. To save the sinking economy of India, the country took a historic turn by declaring that it would be a liberal economy from then onwards. Friend, according to the 2001 census, the population of India had crossed 1 billion mark. The GDP was 485.44 billion US dollars and the GDP growth was 4.8%. Per capita income was 452 US dollars. The market witnessed a steady growth, and in the next census report released in 2011, the GDP growth rose from 485.44 billion US dollar to 1823 billion US dollar, and the GDP growth rate was 5.254%. Despite having a very large population to provide for, the per capita income rose to 1,458 US dollars. India had been achieving its economic targets, controlling its population since 1991, and now its population is controlled. The literacy rate in the country has increased from 74.04% in 2001 census to around 78% at present. So people are health conscious and know of the value of family planning. The result is what the National Family Health Survey NFH5, a countrywide health check, has reported in November 2021 that India's total fertility rate has fallen below 2.1, which is to say below the replacement level at which births balance deaths. It is directly influencing the economy of the country. The forex reserves have crossed 600 billion US dollars for the first time. This is a big piece of news for India. India is heading towards being a $5 trillion economy by around 2025, with its population in its stagnant condition. The government's decision to raise the legal marriage age from 18 to 21 is a welcome decision, which will help check the rapid population growth in India and thus pave the way to rapid economic growth. Friend, I hope that this comprehensive lecture will provide you with an ample amount of content to write the answer to the question, what is the impact of demographic transition on the economy with reference to India? Friend, please re-listen to the lecture for a better understanding to the content. See you in the next quality lecture for the various regulatory body exams. Follow us on Facebook and Telegram. Pay a visit to www.bankquiz.com for a lot of materials for the descriptive English preparation and for the preparation of descriptive ESI and FM. Wish you all the best. Thank you.